So according to a Eurostat study from 2019, the average cloud penetration rate is around 26%. This means that 26% of all businesses, large or small, were using some kind of cloud technology at that point in time. These numbers are very likely to have increased significantly over the past 2 years, in particular on the back of the COVID pandemic. But they remain significantly lower to what we can otherwise observe in regions like the United States or China. Now, the picture is also quite fragmented in Europe. On one side, you have countries like Sweden, Finland, and Denmark that are showing adoption rates close to the mid-60s, closely followed by a group of countries, including the UK, Ireland, or the Netherlands in their mid-40s. And on the other side of the spectrum, you find countries like Greece or Poland that are closer to 10-15%. Surprisingly, France is below European average at around 24%. We also observe a number of large differences between small and large businesses. If you take a look at companies with more than 250 employees, they tend to have adoption rates above 55%. If you look at smaller businesses, these are lagging behind and are closer to 24%. It is important to note that in 2019, 97% of all businesses were considered to be small and medium-sized. Migrating workloads to the cloud is definitely not a trivial exercise. One of the first things to decide is whether you want to be in a public cloud because it's a highly scalable solution, or whether you want to be in a private environment because your industry is highly regulated, for example, or whether you want to have best of both worlds and go for a hybrid infrastructure, in which case you have to choose between multiple public clouds and multiple private clouds and decide how the whole thing works together. So that is the first thing. The second thing is the migration itself can become problematic. Which systems are you going to migrate to the clouds? Which systems are you going to leave on premise? Because it doesn't make sense to move everything into the clouds. Which systems are you going to have to rewrite entirely or partially so that they work in the new environment? And all these conversations can create a lot of tensions between IT departments, management, and finance departments, of course. And finally, the crucial question is probably cybersecurity, because you cannot possibly protect your data in the cloud the same way that you would in your traditional walled garden environment. You have to use new tools. You have to adopt a zero trust approach to cybersecurity, and this is sometimes completely new to quite a few of those smaller businesses that have never been thinking about these problems at all. So migrating to the cloud can be a costly experience. It is not always easy to find the money to do it properly. And in fact, it is sometimes easier for many of those businesses to stay put and do nothing. Well, it's a mix of things, really. And many companies are often complaining that they do not have the skills in-house to proceed efficiently with their cloud migration. So one of the first aspects is to educate those businesses, educate those managers so that they get comfortable with cloud technology. There is also obviously an element of trust, and you have to make sure that businesses get comfortable with the new risks that are inherent to cloud technologies. And in that respect, Europe has been doing a lot of work, in particular with the launch of their Gaia-X initiative, which I will describe in more detail in the next video.